I'm Sunita Viswanath. I'm co-founder and executive director of Hindus for Human Rights. I'm a person who is very, very devoted to social justice for the most marginalized, the neediest, the most silenced in our world. I'm somebody who refuses to keep my eyes on something small. For me, the whole world, the whole universe is my business. But I'm not a very religious Hindu. I'm a philosophical, moral, political Hindu. So for me, it doesn't matter if I go to temple or not. What's more important is how I live on this planet. In the house where I grew up, practiced untouchability. So as a tiny child who didn't know anything, I knew that was wrong. I knew it was wrong that the person who was doing work around our house, cleaning the toilet, was someone I was told I couldn't look at. And as a small child, I had the wherewithal to know I was not okay with that. And in my own childish way of resistance, when this girl would leave the house, she would leave these wet footprints because she had just cleaned the bathroom. And when I would make sure nobody was looking, and I would step in her footprints. And those footprints reminded me of the footprints that we paint on the wall or on the floor during religious festivals, and they are the footprints of God or a goddess. One piece of the mission that really spoke to me, not surprisingly given the divisions that I had experienced when I was younger, was to make sure that both secular women and women of faith were together, united in the women's movement. So in Women for Afghan Women, we would have jirgas when there would be a woman who has a problem that would bring her to us. We would create a circle of herself, whoever in her family she needs to be there, her husband, her parents, her in-laws, her siblings, her imam, her elders, and then our staff would be there. And we would have this circle of support around her where a discussion would happen about her problem. And so doing this work in that very traditional way just made the work more likely to succeed. Working with my Afghan brothers and sisters and Women for Afghan Women taught me that it is absolutely possible to do this, to do social justice work in our modern times while respecting the traditions and culture and mores of a community. I was fixated on pretty much one thing, which is that vote is sacred is not just a domestic issue. And I was insisting and fighting for a consideration of foreign policy and the impact of my vote, of American people's votes around the world. We are going to vote again in 2 years or less. We're going to vote again in 4 years. This is not a we're done project. We have to stay in communication with each other, and we have to grow from here. I want to be part of Vote is Sacred, because vote is sacred. And I want us to say, I want us to ask ourselves and ask each other, why didn't we talk more about the impact of US imperialism around the world? Why was that not part of the conversation? I have no problem saying whatever I've been working on hasn't worked. I think we need to admit that and start there. And I hope the next time Vote is Sacred comes together, we start at that place of deep, deep humility and openness to a new way of working together. Yay!